She was the quietest girl in the dojo, head down, barely speaking, always at the end of the line. Nobody in that karate class ever really noticed her, until the day she took down 3 bullies in less than 60 seconds. It all started 2 months earlier, when Emma Carter, a shy 16-year-old, walked into Sensei Nakamura's dojo for the first time. She had just moved to the small town of Oak Ridge after her father's job transfer. At her old school, Emma had been invisible, painfully shy, always the girl in the corner who never raised her hand, the one everyone forgot to invite. This time, she promised herself things would be different. But as soon as she stepped into the dojo wearing her brand new white GI, she realized how hard that promise would be to keep. From the first day, 3 students, Megan, Chloe, and Tyler, made it clear she wasn't welcome. They weren't just average classmates, they were the top students in the class, all wearing brown belts and dripping with confidence. And they seemed to find her every mistake hilarious. If she tripped during a warm-up, they snickered. If she missed a block during drills, they'd exchange exaggerated eye rolls. The worst part? Emma couldn't even bring herself to stand up to them. She wasn't afraid of fighting, at least, not exactly. She was afraid of attention. Afraid of all eyes on her. But Sensei Nakamura noticed things others didn't. He saw the way she flinched when someone laughed, the way her voice barely rose above a whisper when answering questions. One evening, after class, he called her over. "Emma," he said in a calm, steady voice, "karate is not just for those who want to fight others. It is for those who need to fight the voice in their own head telling them they are weak." Something about those words stayed with her. From that day on, she trained harder. She came to the dojo early, stayed late, and practiced every single night in her room, her small hands bruised from punching the worn leather bag she'd bought with her allowance. Still, the bullies didn't let up. If anything, their mockery grew worse. They called her Snowflake, Porcelain Doll, and once, when she froze during a sparring match, Megan sneered loud enough for everyone to hear, "She's too scared to even hit air." Emma went home that night and cried. But instead of giving up, she remembered Sensei's words again. She didn't want to be strong for them. She wanted to be strong for herself. The turning point came one rainy Thursday evening. Sensei announced a new sparring challenge. Each student would face multiple opponents in a timed round. The goal wasn't just to win, but to demonstrate control, precision, and calm under pressure. When it was Emma's turn, she felt her stomach drop. Her 3 opponents were Megan, Chloe, and Tyler. The trio smirked like they'd just been handed a gift. "Try not to cry, Snowflake," Chloe whispered as they bowed. The timer started. For a moment, Emma's legs felt heavy, her breath caught in her chest. The girls moved in first. Megan faked a high kick, Chloe went for a sweep, and Tyler hung back waiting for an opening. But this time, Emma didn't freeze. In a blur of movement, she sidestepped Megan's kick, grabbed her leg, and swept her to the mat. Chloe lunged, but Emma blocked hard, spinning into a counter-strike that knocked Chloe off balance. Tyler rushed forward, aiming a punch, but Emma deflected, pivoted, and used his momentum to flip him clean over her shoulder. The room went silent except for the sound of the timer still ticking. 38 seconds had passed. All 3 of them were on the mat, groaning, and Emma stood in the center, calm, steady, her eyes locked forward. Sensei walked over, a rare smile touching his lips. "Control. Focus. Strength. Well done, Emma." For the first time since joining the dojo, she didn't feel invisible. The bullies didn't bother her after that. They didn't exactly become friends, but they stopped with the comments, the laughs, the whispers. And Emma? She kept training, not for revenge, not even for respect, but because she had discovered something far more valuable, confidence. Months later, when a new, nervous boy joined the class and stood at the end of the line, Emma noticed the way his shoulders slumped, the way he avoided eye contact. She walked over, smiled, and said, "You'll be fine. Just take it one step at a time." Emma had never liked starting over. Every time her dad's job forced them to move, it meant new schools, new faces, new places where she was the new girl. And being shy meant starting over always felt like being dropped into a crowd without a voice. Her mother thought karate might help her build confidence. Her dad thought it would help her stand her ground. Emma thought it would just be another place to feel out of place. The dojo smelled faintly of sweat and polished wood. Martial arts weapons lined the walls, each one looking like it belonged in an action movie. She stood in her crisp white gi, clutching her new belt like a security blanket. She didn't know it yet, but 3 pairs of eyes were already sizing her up. Megan, Chloe, and Tyler. Brown belts. The dojo's elite students. Everyone admired them for their skill, but they carried themselves with the smugness of people who knew they were untouchable. From day one, they tested her. When she bowed, Megan would mutter, "Too slow." When she kicked, Chloe would laugh and say, "That wouldn't break a balloon." When she blocked, Tyler would smirk and say, "I barely felt that." It wasn't loud enough for Sensei Nakamura to hear, but loud enough for Emma to feel. She didn't fight back. She just kept her head down. But each comment carved away at her, until she began to wonder if maybe they were right. One night after class, Sensei Nakamura called her aside. He was a quiet man in his 60s, the kind who didn't waste words. "Emma," he said, folding his hands behind his back, "you train with your body, but fight with your mind. You have skill, but you are afraid of being seen. Until you fight that fear, you will always hold yourself back." She wanted to deny it. But deep down, she knew he was right. That night, she stood in front of her bedroom mirror, practicing punches until her knuckles ached. She whispered to herself, "I'm not weak. I'm not weak." It wasn't about the bullies anymore. It was about the girl in the mirror who didn't believe in herself. Over the next few weeks, Emma arrived early and stayed late. She drilled her stances, practiced her katas, and trained in silence while the others joked around. At first, her movements were clumsy. But slowly, her strikes became sharper. Her blocks faster. Her eyes more focused. The bullies noticed. And they didn't like it. If she messed up once, Megan would mock her. If she got a move right, Chloe would find something wrong with it. Tyler would give her accidental, hard hits during partner drills. But Emma didn't quit. Every bruise became fuel. Every insult became a reason to stay. It was raining the night Sensei Nakamura announced the new challenge. 3 opponents. 1 minute. Show me your control, precision, and calm. Names were drawn at random. When Emma's turn came, her opponents were revealed. Megan. Chloe. Tyler. The smirk on Megan's face said it all. "This will be fun," they bowed. Emma's heartbeat pounded in her ears. The moment the timer started, Megan lunged with a high kick. Emma's training took over. She sidestepped, grabbed Megan's leg, and swept her to the mat in one fluid motion. Chloe came in fast, aiming for a body blow. Emma blocked hard, spun, and countered with a precise strike to the shoulder that sent Chloe stumbling. Tyler hesitated for half a second, just enough for Emma to read his movement. He charged with a punch. She caught his arm, pivoted, and flipped him over her shoulder. 38 seconds. 3 bullies down. Emma standing tall in the center. The dojo was silent. Even the rain outside seemed to pause. Sensei Nakamura stepped forward. His eyes gleamed. Control. Focus. Strength. Well done, Emma. The bullies never mocked her again. They didn't become friends, but they gave her space. Emma kept training. Not for revenge, not for applause, but for herself. Months later, a small boy joined the class. He stood at the back, eyes down, shoulders hunched. Emma walked over, smiled gently, and said, "It's okay. You'll be fine. Just take it one step at a time." Because she knew, sometimes, the quietest person in the room is just waiting for their moment to rise.